Okay, well, thanks again for having us again this week. As always, we're going to do a quick recap on the last week and weekend. So again, what was the surprise of the weekend for you?
I suppose the biggest surprise of the weekend was Spurs' failure to beat Wolves.
Yeah.
They drew at home at Wolves, which was a poor result for them. All the other results pretty much went as you'd expect. United had a comfortable win. Manchester City went to Wigan and won, although they didn't play very well. But they have their own problems with a couple of players away, key players away at the African Cup of Nations. And they're not very convincing at the moment, City, but they're 3 points clear. And of course, it's a very big weekend coming up.
And then similarly, the highlight for you of the weekend?
The highlight of the weekend, well, I think the highlight of the weekend again was some bad refereeing decisions. It's a low light, really. But the continuing controversies around decisions, which are spoiling games, I think, spoiling the enjoyment for the fans. I think that highlighted week maybe Swansea beating Arsenal 3-2. An outstanding performance by a team. No one gave them much chance of staying in the Premier League. They've no money to spend really on players, no serious money to spend on players. They play a wonderful style of football like Barcelona. They play that style, a passing style, which Arsenal do as well, but they outpassed Arsenal and they won the match 3-2. It's a fantastic victory for Swansea. Very poor result for Arsenal, but that was, I would say, my highlight of the week. And also on Wednesday night, Barcelona and Real Madrid was a great match in the Copa del Rey. Barcelona went to Madrid, went a goal down, Ronaldo scored a goal early, but it came back and really were very convincing 2-1 winners. So the debates that are going on about who is the best, Madrid or Barcelona, I think there's no question Barcelona are in a different league and they're going to win the Champions League, although they're 5 points behind Madrid in La Liga and may struggle to make that gap up because they're two outstanding teams. And Barcelona dropped a point last week, dropped 2 points rather, against Espanyol in a local derby, and that's maybe cost them La Liga, but there's no doubt who the better team is. And I think for everyone who loves football, in the Champions League this year, the two contenders are Real Madrid and Barcelona. If they don't meet each other beforehand, they're likely to meet in the final, and there's a good chance to make some serious money. And they're playing again next Wednesday night. The second leg of the cup tie is in Barcelona, and if you can get evens, which you probably will be able to, Barcelona to beat Madrid, grab it.
Okay, we'll note that. And then just to go off track there for a second, what are your thoughts on Robbie Keane's move back to Villa?
Well, he's gone for 6 matches. I think it's probably a good thing. It'll keep him match fit. He has to go back then, and the American League starts in the spring. I think it's March, late March. So I don't think it does him any harm. I'd have a little concern that although he's had a break now, that he may play more soccer than he needs to. But I think generally no problem with it. He'll get some good practice in the Premier League against the very best players, and he should be fine when he joins, fit and ready to go, when he joins the Irish camp for preparation for the European Championship finals. So I think it's generally a good thing.
Yeah. And then similarly then with the re-emergence of Stephen Ireland, what was your...
Well, it's a very interesting question. I mean, he's been his own worst enemy. He's hugely talented, no doubt about that. But he's not very professional. He's what you might call a headbanger. He's done lots of crazy things, off the field mostly. He said he didn't want to play for Ireland. He may have changed his tune now, but I would say there's zero chance of Trapattoni bringing him back into the squad for the European Championship finals. My own personal view is that he probably shouldn't, although I think with a player as talented as Ireland, and given the dearth of talent we have, we'd always have to keep an open mind for the future. The World Cup qualifiers start in September, and there are a number of young players. McLean at Sunderland is another one, James McCarthy at Wigan, Stephen Ireland. They are the future of Irish football. So I wouldn't personally say never in Stephen Ireland's case. I would say keep the door open. If he resurrects his career in Aston Villa, rehabilitates himself, I think everyone is entitled to redemption.
Yeah, exactly. And on James McLean there, as you mentioned, what do you think of Trapp's stance on James McLean?
I don't like it.
Okay.
I think every player is eligible should be considered, looked at, assessed,
Given a shot.
and given a shot.
Yeah.
Now, unfortunately, we've only got a couple of games before we go to the finals. And Tony's very conservative view is the guys who got us there are the guys who are going. I'd say, yeah, okay. But again, you have to be pragmatic and flexible. If McLean does really well for Sunderland, and Martin O'Neill is no fool as a coach, he's a very, very good coach, one of the very best. If he thinks McLean is good enough to play in the Premier League, if McLean, flourishes under Martin O'Neill's nurturing, then I would put him in the squad, no hesitation.
Okay. And then getting back to business, what would be your 3 biggest bankers for the weekend and week ahead?
Well, there's some very good matches at the weekend.
Yeah.
It's a huge weekend. I've got some. I think we'll win this weekend. I'm
Yeah.
confident that there's a great bet. It's the Manchester teams both to win. City to beat Spurs at lunchtime on Sunday, and United to beat Arsenal away. Now that will pay 3-4 to 1 maybe, that double, and I think it's a very good bet. So that would be my banker for the weekend. I've also got a 3 draws
Great.
bet, and I've also got a first goal scorer double. Now you've got to make sure
Brilliant.
the 2 players are playing, but I think they will. This will pay over 30-40 to 1. Aguero to score first for City against Spurs, and Wayne Rooney to score first for United against Arsenal. You can have that double,
Okay.
and it'll pay really well, and I think it's a very, very good value bet.
Brilliant.
My 3 draws for the weekend, I think, have a real good chance again. If you do doubles and trebles, 3 doubles and a treble, it's Wolves Aston Villa, Fulham Newcastle, and QPR Wigan. Now Wigan are really bottom of the table. They played really well against Manchester City, and they're a good side, and I think they'll go to QPR with every chance of getting a draw. The Wolves Villa match is a bitter local derby, as we've said before correctly. They're matches that you should always look closely for when you're looking for draws. And Newcastle going away to Fulham, I think they'll want to keep it tight, so I think that's a good bet too, and that will pay. Double pays around 9-10 to 1. The treble, if the 3 of them win, you can make serious money for not a big outlay. So that's
Brilliant.
that's the way to make money, and I'm confident we'll make money this weekend.
Great. Well, we'll be looking forward to it, and thanks a million again, and we'll see you next week.
Pleasure.